Hi, welcome back. This is Bertina with the New You Self-Care and Wellness Center. Today we're going to talk about finding time for friends in a busy world. Whether you are a parent, you are in a romantic relationship, or you're in college, or just someone in your 30s and 40s and single, finding friends is hard, and finding time for friends is even harder. During this pandemic, we all have expectations of who our friends were beforehand. We may have had friends who were here all the time, but you contacted with and you even just texted with and everything else, and then they suddenly disappeared. Well, we all deserve to kind of loosen our expectations of friendship and free ourselves of the guilt of what we should be doing as friends during a pandemic. So sometimes texts go unanswered, the balance of giving and taking kind of shifts, and we're not always available to offer the support or even receive the support that we wish, because we're in a literal pandemic. So we're just all trying our best. So when you're looking about finding time for friends in a busy world, let's take that into account today, because sometimes when people are isolated, they begin to withdraw, and they don't interact, or they go the opposite and tend to do more nature stuff and go out into the world and disconnect from all the social media and the news that is so negative and all the things that inundate us. So the thing is, though, is just realize that people react a different way. So how do you have a friendship during a pandemic? Well, you reach out to that friend that you've not heard of for a few weeks and say, how are you doing? Don't get your feelings hurt if they don't respond. Just check on them, check on their social media to see if they're posting, see what's going on, and don't assume they're mad. Some people just can't handle having interactions, or some people are trying to work, they have their kids at home, they're trying to homeschool their kids right now after work or during the day, or all of it together, and there's just not time for friendship. So remember just to let that go. Now, what about if you are trying to find time for friends? Well, schedule it. I'm always saying planning, always saying schedule. I'm telling you, without my journals, my planner, and without my phone, I wouldn't know what I'm supposed to do each day. So plan some time. Say, call Mary and see how she is. Call Sam and talk to him and see what he's doing. Text so-and-so and make time. Offer, if you aren't comfortable meeting each other face to face, because right now the restrictions change all the time, talk about doing Zoom calls or FaceTime calls. I know I have a friend who she and her family go on Zoom, but then they have this app where they play board games and they interact like that. And so she's been having some of her friends do. They usually do game night on Friday. Well, they're still doing game night on Friday. So trying to keep things like that, trying to find time for themselves. Some people have decided to find time, they've decided to go out and do driveway hangouts, like in a cul-de-sac or in a subdivision, and they are sitting in their chair and the other person sitting on the chair in their driveway close to them, and vice versa, and they're still socially distancing, but they're talking to each other, they're taking time. So they've all texted each other and said, Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, we're going to get together, we have our own dinner, we're going to sit out in the driveway and we're going to eat dinner together. So it isn't just time like we thought about when we first were planning, finding time for friends, but it's also finding creative ways for friends right now. Um, I host a lot of classes. I do yoga and meditation classes and a lot of things like that. There's a lot of libraries, a lot of organizations that are hosting online events or online classes. Ask a friend to attend them with you. Go on Zoom or wherever, attend the event, chat with each other, have the same coffee, stay afterwards, have your coffee together, talk about your experiences, just like you would if you went to a yoga class and then you went to Starbucks after, or you went to a ceramics class and you went to McDonald's after. It's the same thing. You have to find time. Now, it's really hard to make friends as an adult and finding time. So that may be talking to your significant other or your children and going, okay, Tuesday night, Mom is going to go once a month to a book club. whether that's virtual or in person. And dad may have Fridays and he is doing video games, or he is doing something with cars or something with his friends on Friday night. And then the kids have special times when they get to spend time with their friends. Because again, how you model friendships and the importance of friendship is how your kids are going to see it. Okay. Also, being respectful. Don't get mad because the third Friday is your husband's time for friends, but then there's something you want to do. Well, then do it on your own, and then come back and share the experience, or see if you can do it on a different night. Finding time for friends also doesn't have to be like huge events. It can be texting your friend and going, hey, look at this meme, or hey, guess what just happened to me, or I was just thinking about when we did such and such. When do you think's the next time we can do this? So, and it doesn't have to be every day. We have these expectations that friendship is every day, and that comes from being in school, elementary school, middle school, high school, and seeing friends all the time. As an adult, we have work, we have responsibilities, we have relationships, but those relationships should also include friends. And if they don't include friends, then that's an unbalance of your life. And remember, we talked at the beginning that self-care is a balance. So what do? Well, you always focus on trying to do a positive experience with your friends. So if they can't do something, don't get upset with them. Try it again. Especially right now when the world is so uncertain. Nobody knows what's going to happen the next day. Make sure you pencil it in your calendar. This is when I'm going to text Mary and say, hey, how was your weekend? What did you do? Tell me about your weekend. When people invite you to things, it's so easy to decline them and go, well, I have work, or I have homework, or I have kids, or I have dishes, or I have this. Accept invites, because just like how you may feel like, well, I've asked such and such so many times and they're not doing anything with me, people are going to think that about you as well. So accept those invites. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to do every single thing and neglect your family. Again, balance. So it's something you really want to do, make time for it. And that's one of the lessons. Most of the time in the past, we always said, if people want to make time for you, they will. Right now, that's got to have some leeway with it. But if you want to do something, you have to make time for it. And you have to take it at your own pace. Try new things too. Go ahead and try going hiking. Go to meetup.com and look for people who have some interests that you do that you've never done. Take some kind of fitness class. Go to the spa, go get a massage, do something different, but go somewhere new and talk to the people there. Because sometimes when you go with friends, and you usually would go with friends, but your friends are busy, you begin to not do things on your own. Go by yourself. I love going to the movies by myself and going out to eat by myself, because I spend time with myself. I get to know what I like and don't like. Plus, there's not somebody talking to me about the movie during the movie. So take some time out like that. Also, go to a gym or a church function and talk to people there, people that you usually don't talk to. Join a book club. There's virtual book clubs. Volunteer at your kids' school. Get to know other parents. And that's hard sometimes because there's a lot of judgment between parents and social cliques and things like that. Don't worry about that. Just go in, because teachers are always happy with having volunteers. Now in the fall, who knows what's going to happen with that. We don't even know if there's going to be in-person school or online, but when you can, just send a note virtually to the teacher. Ask if they can volunteer for you to send virtual emails to students. Find people who have the same interest as you. Make time for friends. Make a date that this is our day for that. Now, sometimes once you have a friend and it's been a long time, you're a little bit more hesitant about talking to that friend. So first of all, think about who that friend is and why you disconnected. Was it just, someone moved? Was it, not enough time, too much time went since you spoke? Or was it a serious situation, a trust issue, something toxic? That's where you need to decide if that is a relationship that you want to maintain. So if it was a just time slipped away, life experience happened, reach out to them, text them, give them a call. Don't get upset if they don't text or call at the same time, because they may feel uncomfortable and not know what to talk to you about. It's been so long. Maybe you feel like you've both changed a lot, but just be persistent but not pushy. And remember, it's a two-way street. After you've tried a couple of times, don't continue, but give them some time. Maybe send them a postcard or give them an email that says, hey, do you remember when we did such and such? I missed this. Why don't we go meet at Starbucks for about 10 or 15 minutes, and keep your reunion very, very short. People don't do well with pressure when it comes to meeting up with people that they might not have known, or they've known for a while and might not know anything about now, because there's all those expectations, and most of those expectations are set by themselves and not really ones that you have. But we play these things in our minds. Realize that to be friends, you don't have to see each other every day or every week or even every month. Just take times that you can, and just take a minute, even when you're tired and you have all this stuff to do and they ask you to go to lunch or dinner, instead of going, no, I'll try it another time, think about when the last time is that you spent time with them. And then at that time, stop and go, okay, I'll meet you for lunch. We may not stay out as long, or even dinner. We may not stay out as late, but we're going to do this, and make a commitment. Friendship is just like any other relationship. You have to make a commitment. You have to look at the dynamics of your relationship, what the person's going through and what you're going through. Remember to talk about, as much as you can, your experiences, what you're going through and things like that, and commit to it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be every day or every week, but send a text, say hello. People like when they feel like you're thinking about them, and that's kind of the foundation for friendship, is the interaction. So I'll see you in next video.